wouldn't break any laws. I don't do that. It's just I would never day drink and smoke cigarettes in a public park. This is just a green screen, of course, absolutely.
Well, you don't smoke weed.
I don't know.
You're a law-abiding citizen in that respect.
Very law-abiding citizen in that respect.
Oh God, hold on, I'm losing PBRs here. There we go.
There we go. Perfect.
Oopsie.
It's probably one of the most requested things for me to do, but...
Dude, probably half my comments when I mentioned that I was coming to link up with you were like, get him to smoke a joint. Because I didn't know you didn't smoke at first until I started like watching your content and had people tell me like, oh, he doesn't smoke weed. Do you just like not enjoy it or why not?
I've never actually tried it before, and
Really?
I'll acknowledge I don't really have too much of an interest in doing so. I enjoy my tobacco, I enjoy my alcohol, and I'm very happy with just that in all honesty.
Yep.
The heaviest thing I've ever done, I think I've done whippets twice.
Really?
Yeah, I was in high school and I did whippets.
Tell
with
me that
friends.
story.
Literally, okay. So it was like 11 o'clock at night. I'm hanging with some of my friends after we were like hanging out somewhere else. I think we got dinner or something like that. And we were like, let's try whippets. So we literally went to the store, got whipped cream cans.
Same way I did it when I was in high school.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
And just got like 2 of them, took it out of it, and you know, I got a little bit of a buzz, and I was like, wow, I can literally feel the brain cells leaving my head right now.
You genuinely lose like
Absolutely.
double-digit IQ points.
Oh,
when
without
you
a doubt, without a doubt. And ended up doing it again, like a couple weeks later, I think, and felt like I was losing brain cells again, and I was just like, never again. I'm not doing this again. Like the 30-second like buzz is not worth it at all.
No.
For literally losing my brain cells.
It's one of the worst drugs in my opinion.
Absolutely,
like,
without a doubt.
Nitrous just sucks, dude.
Yeah.
And it's become so popular now.
It has, especially with the galaxy gas and stuff like that. Like I'm looking at it, I'm like, you're in high school class hitting galaxy gas, like, hey, I'm not going to control what people do. I think people, if they want to do it, I'm not going to tell them what to do.
For sure,
It's their life, not mine. But for me, I'm looking at it like, damn, bro is going to be on single-digit IQs by the time he's in out of high school.
I'm kind of interested in your perspective as someone who's not really much of a drug user from what I'm gathering, outside of tobacco and alcohol. How do you feel about like how normalized all these drugs are becoming now, and how much shit's at the smoke shop even here?
So that's a interesting question that I'm going to try to go as in depth in as possible.
Okay.
It depends on the drug, of course. So like weed, for example, I have no issue with. I believe it should be legalized, even though I don't consume it myself. I personally support the deregulation of the tobacco and alcohol industry to an extent.
Can we get some weed ads going too on the mainstream?
Oh yeah, absolutely,
Thank
absolutely.
you, dude. All these fucking... Dude, for some reason, the legal, like, dispensary brands that are regulated at I think, scrutinized way harder than the hemp brands, they can't run any ads. But the Super Bowl this past year, Mood, who's, I think, the biggest brand in the space, fucking ran a Super Bowl ad. And it's literally just their URL. You can just go and buy edibles. And they ran a fucking Super Bowl ad for it.
So this was like Delta 8, or this was like...
No, this is like THCA. Like a normal THCA edible. This shit will get you stoned as fuck. It's literally, if you look at the test results, they're pretty much no different than like an edible you go get at a dispensary. The only difference is, instead of it being just...
So it's not the hemp law.
No, it does follow under. It falls under it, but the edibles are a weird situation where it's Delta 9 THC is how they get around it. But Delta 9 is normal THC.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. It's literally it's just written differently. It's very crazy stuff. All of the laws surrounding hemp and weed are entirely written by people who have never consumed it and don't know anything.
Makes sense.
You know, like this state, I think, is probably a prime example of that. Like, any more than an eighth is a felony, but if I take the weed I have right now and I put it inside one of my only gas bags, it's fucking legal.
Yes.
And it's the same thing. It's the same weed.
I actually have an interesting story to go along with this, though. So you mentioned if you put it in your bag, it's legal. So if what you have on you in the state of North Carolina is, let's say, the Delta 8, I'm just going to say Delta 8 as an example, as that's the most common one, but I realize there's many varieties. But let's say you have Delta 8 herb on you, or something like that. That's actually legal to carry on you, because of course it's legal. But that's just the herb. They might test it, but it's legal. But what I thought was really interesting is I walked into a head shop one time. I knew they sold a specific cigarette I wanted. State Express 555 Golds. Made in Singapore. Sold in the United States, made by British American Tobacco.
Sounds
very
luxury.
interesting cigarettes. Very common in Southeast Asia, not so common around here. Originally a British brand, though. Very interesting stuff. But I walked in there because I knew they had them, and I wanted to get a pack or two to smoke. And I wanted to make a new review of them because it had been like a year or two since I had done a review of them. And I walked in to grab a pack, and dude in front of me in line, he's like an older dude. He's probably in his like 40s, and he's wearing like jorts. He's got like a tie-dye shirt on, and he's got like 3 friends with him, and all of them are built like police officers, frankly put. And the dude was asking, and he was like, hey man, can I get some weed? And the guy was like, yeah, Delta 8, Delta whatever kind of thing behind the counter. Absolutely not saying the word weed. If he says the word weed, it's going to be an issue.
He's in trouble.
So, yes. The dude behind the counter absolutely got a talk to about this before he started the job there.
Yep.
Saying, never say weed kind of thing. Never say cannabis, never say any of that sort of stuff, which absolutely makes sense. I would do the exact same thing if I was the store owner personally. But the dude was like, can I get some of this, some of this, some of this? And he got a couple of them, and he turns around and asked me, he was like, do you know where I get some real weed? And I was like, no, man, I don't smoke weed. I'm here for the cigarettes behind the counter, bro. And I'm just kind of like, you fucking undercover cop, you're asking me about weed. I'm just kind of like,
this boy's trying to get you locked up.
Exactly. I was like, bro, 1, I ain't no snitch. And two, I'm just kind of like, you're here at the store, and I know they were grabbing the bags to test them once they got back to whatever.
For sure.
But I was just kind of like, you're the most fucking obvious undercover cop ever.
Yeah.
I was just kind of like, the only thing that made me think maybe not an undercover cop was no pants. He was actually wearing jean shorts.
Dude, that's a cop.
Oh, no,
Jorts?
absolutely. Well, I wear jorts. I love my jorts. Jorts
Listen,
are
I'm not saying, I'm just saying, if I thought of what's an indicator of someone being a cop, jorts are really high on the list. No disrespect intended.
I'm not going to disagree with that.
No disrespect intended, but like, that's high up, dude.
I went to Japan for like a month and a half a couple years ago.
Oh, that sounds sick.
And it was fucking sick. I highly recommend. If you ever get the chance to go to Japan,
I need my passport still.
Highly recommend.
You just
got the real ID?
2 years ago, I became eligible to get my passport.
Yes,
sir. 1 or 2 years ago, so I gotta get that shit.
Hell yeah. Highly recommend. Like, Japan, there's no weed. Absolutely. I did smell weed twice.
I've heard through the grapevine that there are a handful of growers in Japan.
I absolutely believe it.
And it's quite literally like $200 a gram.
I believe it. Absolutely believe it. I smelled weed a total of 2 times when I was in Japan. Once was when I was hiking on a trail in Kyoto, and 2 old people walked by me, and they didn't have anything in their hand, but they smelled like weed. They just walked by me, and I just smelled weed. So I was like, y'all were smoking. And they were literally like 65 years old walking by me.
That makes
me
happy, though.
No, genuinely.
That
like,
makes
they're
me
just
happy.
fucking
Good
vibing,
for them,
like,
you know?
like, for real. Like, they were just like happy-go-lucky couple smoking weed on the trail. Like,
I hope they get high as hell in Japan, dude.
Nah, for real.
Such a tragic place for weed to be banned because it seems like such a great spot to smoke. Dude.
No, genuinely, yeah. The other place I smelled weed was in Osaka, which is the second largest like population center of Japan, and I smelled it there. And I was in my Airbnb, like I was in an Airbnb, and the entire apartment complex was Airbnbs, and I went down to the lobby because it's like original apartment buildings. So they had a lobby and stuff like that, and there were like 3 guys that were like just chilling, and I was like walked by, and I was like, "Yo, we're smoking weed," kind of thing. I could just smell it on you, kind of thing. It was just that sort of business, and I just thought it was amusing. Like, Japan, I was like, I wouldn't take that risk. Like, fuck that. Like, holy shit. Like, even if I was somebody just smoking weed, which I'm not, I still wouldn't take the risk because like Japan is crazy hard on weed. If you get arrested in Japan as a foreigner, you're fucked.
Yeah.
Like, way more so than in the United States. But I smelled it twice in Japan, which I thought was really, I wasn't expecting to smell it at all.
Yeah, it's got to be shocking.
I smelled it the first time, and I was like, what the fuck? I was like, holy shit.
Dude, I would have been so excited.
No,
Holy
genuinely,
fuck.
I was like, oh my god, these people chilling, yo!
I would have hunted that shit down, bro. I would have been like, pass it, dude. I don't give a fuck if it's Delta 8. Pass it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Get the Yakuza shit going. That's what I'm saying.
Dude, they have like hemp there in Delta 8 in
Do
Japan.
they really?
They do.
I didn't know that.
It is
Deadass?
HHC is the most popular chemical that they have there.
Seriously? Mm-hmm. I didn't know that. I didn't think it was like
I think it might-
weed or herb or hemp was legal at all.
It's not necessarily legal, it's just not illegal.
Oh.
But I think that's going to change pretty soon from what I'm aware of.
Interesting.
But yeah,
Very
they have
interesting.
like smoke shops that sell like little Delta 8 and they sell bongs and shit. But like, yeah, those guys are probably going to shut down soon.
Interesting.
I'd
I
imagine.
didn't realize that. Well, I think it really. I'll admit. I think it all comes down to what Japan Tobacco has to say about it, because Japan Tobacco is the big tobacco of Japan.
Yep.
I mean, like Altria, which owns Marlboro and Philip Morris and stuff like that. Because Altria is the parent company of Philip Morris, which owns Marlboro, which owns L&M. While they are big tobacco in the United States, without a doubt, they're not really that big in Japan. The biggest company in Japan when it comes to tobacco is Japan Tobacco, which is the old Japanese government monopoly on tobacco. They actually had a federal monopoly on tobacco until like the 1970s.
Oh shit.
Same with Korea, actually. Same with South Korea.
Interesting.
So that would be, for Korea, that would be KT&G, which is the Korean Tobacco and Ginseng Corporation, which was the old South Korean tobacco monopoly, which is very interesting. But I think I would reckon, because while Japan Tobacco International and Japan Tobacco are technically private companies as of today, the majority of the stakeholder in the company, around about 30 to 40%, is still the Japanese government. So it really comes down to, I feel like a lot of the legislation really comes down to what Japan Tobacco does, and if Japan Tobacco decides to invest in weed companies, then the government might follow afterwards, honestly, because they realize, okay, if this is profitable, the stock's going to go up and we're going to make more money, kind of thing. And I think it's very interesting. I mean, like, the same thing happened with Japan Rail as well, with JR Central, JR West, JR East. They all went on the fucking Tokyo Stock Exchange and are now making fucking bank for that shit. It's very interesting what they've done, I will acknowledge, with privatization. With privatizing previously nationalized companies.
Man, publicize the weed over there, dude.
No, for real, for
Fucking
real.
get us the weed.
I'm like, there's such a big drinking culture in Japan. It's crazy. Everything I've watched about Japan has led me to believe there's such an insanely large drinking culture, and there really is. There's so many bars. Everywhere I went to sold alcohol, almost no matter what, unless it was literally like the Kirby Cafe,
Yeah.
some shit like that. I didn't go to Maid Cafe when I was in Japan. I need to go to one.
Oh, dude, they have one in LA.
They have a Maid Cafe in
Yeah,
LA?
you can just go to LA. They have one. I haven't been yet, but I would love to go. I really want to try it.
You gotta get high and go to a Maid Cafe.
Dude, come
bro.
to LA. We'll do a fucking
Yo.
we'll do a whole maid cafe outing, dude. I'm down.
Big fucking bet.
Our follow up to this, we'll do an interview with a maid, dude. We'll get some shorties on, dude.
Hell yeah,
That'll be
brother.
lit.
That's what I'm talking about.
Fuck
yes,
yeah.
sir. I'm fucking down for that.
All right.